Hello there, Shortcuts. It's Stephen here for video 2. The price list will go out Wednesday, the 19th of June at 9 p.m. Sydney time. If you see something here and you would like to buy it, you need to be on that mailing list because that's got the prices on it. And you just reply, first come, first serve. And the email to contact me is shortcutsrecordsaus@gmail.com. So this is a classic rock, metal, psych rock, I don't know, various things, including a first for me. So the quiz question for this particular list is, the last record is a compilation of a Dutch band that I love. They have one song that you all know that was covered by a band in the 80s. But the thing that, the little tidbit that I wonder if any of you know is that the lead singer of this band didn't speak English and learned the songs phonetically, which is why there's a lyrical mistake in their most famous song. So who might they be? This particular record I have also has a poster, so I'll show you a picture of said lead singer. Her name is Mariska. Okay, now to kick things off, something very new for me, but kind of fun. When I was in Japan, I found two bootlegs, two Led Zeppelin bootlegs. This one, Bonzo's Birthday Party. But this is the first one that I'm going to lead off with. This is the BBC Zepp bootleg, Led Zeppelin. Now, the folks that I bought this from did something very kind. They printed me out the details. So, this is a 1972 bootleg that was released originally in the United States. It's obviously an unofficial release. It's mono recorded directly from the soundboard. And the concert is at the Paris Cinema in London in April 1st, 1971. Tracklist, Communication Breakdown, Dazed and Confused. The Dazed and Confused is 16 minutes long and it's mega. And then side 2 is Going to California, Stairway to Heaven. The solo on Stairway to Heaven, quite different to the studio version. And then a little bit of a deep cut, but a Led Zepp song that I really like from Led Zepp 2 called What Is and What Should Never Be. So there you have, it's very unusual. I know I don't typically do this, but there you go. I just thought this was interesting. And here's a look at the label. So the vinyl is very clean, but there's A, kind of this image of Jimmy Page, and there's the B. Of course, no matrices and no label details. But for those of you who like to scratch a Led Zepp itch, that is... And the sound quality on this one's really nice. Yeah, surprisingly good. Now, this one is very different. This is a double Bonzo's Birthday Party. Look at that sleeve. And then on the back, there's this full cartoon with the similar kind of cartoonish style with pigs and cigars. And one of the pigs is a jumper saying, "Impeach the lemon." And hiya, ladies and gents. I just want to let you know that this here is a genuine collector's item. I've seen this sell online. I've just been researching it for crazy money, but I'm not going to do that. Now, this one's quite different. This one is recorded in 1975. Clue is in the title. It was Bonzo's birthday, and there are a number of sources for this bootleg. There is a soundstage version as well, but that's not this one. This one was recorded from the audience, and this one's Misty Mountain Hop. Song remains the same. Dazed and Confused, No Quarter of the Ocean, Heartbreaker, and then Whole Lot of Love. Sound quality on this one's not as good. What I'll do is I'll send a link in the email because I found a link that actually links to Bonzo's birthday party. From what I can tell, amongst the Led Zepp forums, this one's a bit legendary just because of what it is. And there's a call out to Bonzo at various places and things like that. So for those of you who like your Led Zeppelin, that's pretty cool. Now, I'm actually going to flip ahead because I just realized there's a Led Zepp record in the list. The Japanese first press of Presence. Such a chunky version. If you like Presence on the, obviously, Swan Song label, that is there as well. So 2 Led Zepp bootlegs plus Presence. I've got a couple of very wildly different first press promo white labels for you now. This one I'm going to start with. 1980. Peter Criss, Out of Control. Peter Criss, of course, being in Kiss. He started recording this album and he was still in Kiss, but by the time he kind of got through it, he was gone. I'm just going to show you the label because it's quite nice. Record's in wonderful condition. There you go. It's better on Capricorn, but the white label promo version on Capricorn, sorry, not Capricorn, on Casablanca Records, is very different to the classical Casablanca, of course, with the kind of the Humphrey Bogart figure and almost like the desert scenes from Morocco. It's very, very interesting. This record's interesting too. It's very different to anything that I've ever heard in any way connected to Kiss. It's almost lounge pop in places, but then there's about 4 or 5 rockers. I kind of flicked through it on Spotify because I'm not a Kiss fan, but I was reading, I kind of almost felt a bit sorry for Peter Criss because this record got slaughtered when it was first released. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's quite interestingly put together. I like the sleeve. The sleeve's kind of a bit wild. Certainly more interesting than Kiss sleeves. I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting one. For those Kiss fans out there, it's hard to find. It was pretty expensive. That's the only thing. But, you know, it's a pretty interesting piece. And this is another white label promo. Very different record in every way. I'm just going to show you the white label. There it is. This is the white label promo of an early Cher album called Foxy Lady. Look at this close-up. Apparently this was taken by Sonny Bono for a previous album. This is the Gypsy album, and he really liked the photo and they kind of zoomed right in and created this grainy effect. And it's also there on the back as well. You see that? You wouldn't recognize her, of course. She's changed her opinion her appearance so dramatically. But it's quite mellow, very almost sounds to me, even though I think it was released in the early 70s, it's more kind of almost like a 60s chanteuse style. It's yeah, it's interesting. Cher. Let's swing the dial again. Away from lush Cher to completely garage, oozing with noise and feedback. The debut album from the mighty Vanilla Fudge. I mean, you often see these guys listed in as a prog rock band, and this is the Japanese first press. They're not a prog rock band to me. These guys are a garage psychedelic band to me. You know how much I love. I'm just going to show you the green and blue original Atlantic labels. For me to kind of prove what I'm saying, just listen to their cover version of Ticket to Ride. It's a trip. And these guys are scuzzing out on the guitars. People get ready, bang, bang. And of course, they finish with an even more kind of wig out Beatles cover version with their version of Eleanor Rigby. Really interesting and cool record. I've never had the Japanese first press of this before. Now before I get into a series of records that I've pulled out because I'm going to put them on the list as pretty cheap prices, there is one record I just want to remind everyone I have, just because of how wonderful it is. It is the Japanese first press of Neil Young's On the Beach. To my money, his greatest album. Every song is wonderful. It's got For the Turnstiles, which could be my favorite Neil Young song. I use that song to show off my sound system sometimes because there's this wonderful picked guitar solo that comes out of either channel. It's just a beautiful record. It's really moving, brilliantly played. It's just an absolute stone cold classic. And the Japanese version sounds spectacular. Yeah, it's great. All right, so now I've got a swathe of, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 records that are going to be really kind of, I'm thinking $40 or less. All Japanese. Changes Bowie, one of the great compilations of all time. This is pretty fun. I am not a massive Eagles fan, but there is no doubt that these are the 3 Eagles records to have. Their debut album, maybe my favorite Eagles record, which is Desperado. And I'm going to try and show you, I'm not quite sure if it will come across on the screen, but it's got this beautiful kind of mottled finish. I think this is their best album, and it's surprisingly hard to find. Beautiful sleeve, look at that. I think Desperado is their best song. I think Tequila Sunrise is maybe their second best song. It's all there. Desperado, super hard to find and really nice. And this is their debut album, so Take It Easy, Peaceful Easy Feeling, brilliant. And this, of course, is Hotel California, which comes complete with the poster. And if anyone is interested, just let me know, because in the box they also put in the Japanese first press of the single of Hotel California. So if anyone would like a Hotel California bundle, please let me know. It's a beautiful copy. Yeah. Eagles, the 3 best Eagles albums. What about this? Now, this is a first on the list. I've never even heard of this label, the Rounder Records. And this is the 4th album from George Thorogood and the Destroyers. It's called More George Thorogood and the Destroyers. It's the Japanese first press. Around the world, I read this was a different name. It's called I'm Wanted around the world. Very, very chuggy kind of deep blues sound. Surprising. I don't really know George Thorogood at all. But there you have it. George Thorogood and the Destroyers, another Japanese first press. And I'm just putting out some Shortcuts royalty, the Japanese first press, the Fleetwood Mac's Tusk, utterly magnificent, one of the best sounding records I've ever heard. All right, before I get to the quiz, I've got 4 Aussie presses. This I'm just going to show you that will be on the list. I have 2 from Van Morrison, Beautiful Vision and Hard Nose The Highway, which is my 3rd favourite Van Morrison album. They're both very, very nice condition, so they'll be on the list. And then, for those of you who watch these videos regularly, you will know I am not a fan of the Doors, but I've got these. I've got the Doors Greatest Hits compilation. I can't remember whether this is US or Aussie. I think it's Aussie first press. Hello, I Love You, Light My Fire, People Are Strange, Riders of the Storm, Break On Through, Roadhouse Blues, Touch Me, LA Woman. Yeah, it's pretty sound, I guess. But this one I like better. Now, this is my personal favourite Doors album, and it is this. Alive, She Cried. I think Doors live albums are better than their studio albums, and I think this one's excellent and surprising. I've got a couple of copies of this. Really nice version 2, sounds really good. Yeah, surprisingly good live band. I don't know. I just can't get on with their studio stuff. All right, returning to the quiz question. Which Dutch band wrote some incredible songs? The lead singer, Mariska, had to learn the songs phonetically. It is, of course, the wonderful, the Shocking Blue. And look at this compilation. It's wonderful. I love this band. Send Me a Postcard Baby being one of the greatest singles of all time. The song that I'm most famous for, of course, is Venus. And there's some, as I said, language issues with their version. And this is the poster that comes with this pressing. Look at that. The Shocking Blue. And there's Mariska with the band members. If you don't have any Shocking Blue, by the way, she's hot. Look at her. Anyway, really cool band. I love them to bits. Gotta have a place for them in your collection. And that is a very, very nice copy. So there you go. I think another one of my favorites, I wonder if it's on here, Mighty Joe. Venus, Mighty Joe's great. Of course, Send Me a Postcard, one of the greatest fuzz pop hits, singles of all time. Tobacco Road and Inkpot, they're all on there. And of course, it opens with Venus. And why not? It's fantastic. So there you have the rock and pop list. Psych, prog, bit of everything in there. You know, Peter Criss with Cher, George Thorogood with the Shocking Blue. Gotta love it. As always, please leave some comments if there's anything here that kind of intrigued you. I'm very curious as to what you'll all make of the Led Zeppelin bootlegs. And yeah, looking forward to hearing from you. As always, if you want to be on the price list, it is shortcutsrecordsaus@gmail.com. Thank you all so much. Bye.